To kick off the new year, Brad and I got stuck into a garden patio makeover using these beautiful crazy paving tiles. It was a sweaty, hot, messy job, but it was well worth it in the end to transform our front yard into a bit of a beachside oasis.
Happy New Year,
everybody, and welcome to 2025.
We're here.
We didn't think we'd make it. We are out in our very cute little front yard. We've dabbled out here before. We built this curved pergola. We built 2 curved garden beds, which I'll do a little filming of it so you can see if you haven't watched those videos. The curved beds are what dreams are made of. We really love it, and it's got a mixture of flowers and vegetables. I love an edible garden, so we've made sure, I always make sure that I've got edibles in my garden, and I'll do a little tour, because it's not the point of today, but I'll give you a few little grabs of it, because it's fun.
Yeah, a lot of work has gone into out here, whilst we've done obviously a huge amount of work inside, so we haven't forgotten about this place. We definitely haven't filmed it, but it gets a huge amount of attention every single day because Samantha's out here every single other minute of the day trying to tend to the garden. So it's come along really nicely while we've focused inside.
It's my happy place. You know, it's I love gardening, and when we first moved in, my non-negotiable was to do the first garden bed so that we had a place to do our veggie gardens. And now we've got 2, which is great, and we have a full plan for our side kitchen garden in the future. But we want to make sure that we're not doing bits and bobs all over the place and ending up with like a lot of half-finished projects. So we thought, why not take the start of the year to get the front pretty much done?
Yeah, that's right. And you probably have noticed in the last 14 videos we filmed out here, this stack of tiles hasn't moved because we put it here and that's where it stayed. Now we're finally, basically, we're sick of looking at it. Plus, it's going to make an enormous difference to this space, so we're actually going to get stuck in
We're going to move the pavers.
No, we're not going to move them. We're going to lay them.
So, originally we wanted to do like a crazy paving. We live by a coastal area, so crazy paving does make a lot of sense for us. And when this came up as a possible option, we were like, this is kind of perfect.
We just jumped on them. They're very thick. They're about a 40mm thick paver. Quite good. They're going to be really sturdy once we put them on our sand bed through here. They are quite porous too. You can see there's a huge amount of holes in them, so they're going to let and absorb a lot of moisture through, which is good because our sand soil likes to deal with a lot of that sort of moisture, and these aren't going to move too much. And this is one of the smaller ones. We have some large ones that are a good double-sized dinner plate. They're quite big, and crazy paver with these irregular sizings is going to be the best way to go. Number 1, this behemoth of a stack of tiles needs to go. We thought this was a good place to move it when we first did it. We had a helping hand. Thank you, Ian, very much for this. But unfortunately, we're going to have to move it out of the way again so that we can prep this whole area, which is number 2. Part number 2, we need to get this slab out of the way. Oh, hi, Chi. This has got to go. We're going to have a garden bed up against the part of the house here in the edge of the deck. So we've got to lift up and get rid of all this concrete. And then moving our way back through is going to be ripping up all of the garden here, tan bark, concrete, geomat, everything that's under here existing. Gotta go.
Our design is to do 2 curves, one here and one there. So the third thing we need to do is edge it and prepare a sub base. So number 4 would then be actually tiling and putting on the top rock. We're going to get to it. It's actually quite a lot of labour involved in this project.
It is.
We have a few days up our sleeve and we thought, let's do something a little bit different before we head back inside and get back to the mud room.
That's it. Joinery.
Yeah. So let's get to it. An empty crate.
Oh.
We did it.
Year and a half of sitting there waiting for us to move it. We finally did it.
And actually it looks so much bigger without it.
It's amazing how much space. You sort of get used to something being in the way, and Samantha had a very good point before about buying things when you renovate. Be prepared to have it sit there for a long time, especially if it's not your task at hand. You're like, we're going to need that at some stage.
But it's just going to sit there.
Be prepared for it to consume your life for the time until you get to it.
And you get so used to seeing it, you don't, and then one day you're like, oh my gosh, that would look so much better if it wasn't there.
And here we are.
So we made it. So they're over there. So now we can prepare the area for paving. Now we have to pull out. So
the worst plant in history.
If you are thinking of planting bamboo, please don't.
Just don't.
Please don't
do it.
Do that. Don't do that.
Worst decision
unless you
ever.
want to do it in a pot. Bamboo's just so invasive I know there are some types of bamboo that are slightly less invasive. If you're going to do bamboo, please
Consider the life of others.
We've been digging out this bamboo and trying to get rid of it for so long, and it just comes back. But we're going to do our best, and then we'll just have to throw a weed mat over it, I think. While Brad deals with the plant situation over there, I'm going to start just like pulling out the grasses and the weed mat from here. I would like to not do a weed mat, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, just going to dig it out. Just need to get rid of it. The old weed mat is kind of like already pulling up anyway. Tell you what, this is the workout.
That's it. There we go, now we're cooking. There you go, keep going, a bit closer to you. There we go.
I see it.
Keep going. There we go, there. Bit closer, right, closer to you. Boom!
This side is getting there, and this side is looking pretty clean. Good morning. It is the next day, although we're in the same clothes. Because why get new clothes dirty when you already have some very, very dirty clothes?
I can't wear my clothes 2 days in a row, otherwise I'll be stinky.
Oh yeah, Brad's a sweater.
I'm a sweater, thanks.
Thanks.
He's a sweaty boy.
Brad's a sweaty boy. We got a lot done yesterday, and today, at the moment, we're just starting to even out the sand and draw out where we want our design, and then draw out our garden bed as well. We've moved some sand around the yard because our soil, if you don't know, is just practically sand. So we just kind of take it from other parts of our property so that we can get enough soil and make sure it's really even. So Brad is at the moment doing the pergola area. And we're taking shrapnel out as we go, so any like rocks that we find, we've removed as much of the bamboo root as possible. There's a lot of sticks, there's quite a bit of bone in the soil. So we're just removing it. For some reason our soil has like heaps of glass shards in it, so always wearing our gloves, but yeah, I don't know why. Why is there so much glass in our soil?
Oh, who knows?
We don't know. But whatever they did here before, we came, involved a lot of broken glass. Actually, maybe it's from the fire.
Yeah, like with that, old renovations.
Yeah.
People just dump stuff.
People do just dump stuff. Oh, so many bricks. So many bricks in the soil. Anyway, I will show you what we've drawn out. We've decided to go with 2 curves meeting, and we're drawing them out sort of with just lines in the sand at the moment, and also the garden bed. Let me show you. So, we'll have one. Brad, you're kind of in the way there, mate.
Sorry, I'm working.
As he shuffles it. So we're having one line that follows the curved pergola, and then we'll have one line that goes and does the opposite direction to meet the deck, which means we'll have like this sort of V-line shape made of paving. So this is where the V will be, and then over here we're going to have a garden bed that we hopefully can make lots of beautiful flowers, probably similar to this garden bed. Brad is starting to level the ground just so we don't have any undulations, just with a giant straight edge. Chai is actively sitting in the way of that, so we have to work around him, but he loves being a part of the process. And I'm going to start to, oh hello, I'm going to start to look at the stones that we have. We're not going to draw in the line. We're not going to draw in the lines, but we're going to go up to the edges, and same with the garden bed, and then we'll put in the edging for the garden bed once we've got the majority of the stone laid down. But it's going to start to come together. You're just a pat monster. You're a pat monster. There are certain stone pavers that have these like really beautiful designs in them, and so for ones that are really special, we'll try and put them somewhere that's really visible rather than tucked away in the corner. Each one looks so different, so it's kind of fun to pull out the really, really stunning ones. Like, look at this, gorgeous. Three-quarters of the way, I would say, maybe 2/3, and it's tiring. Every muscle is aching, and that's what I have to say.
Yes.
We have one curve in, now we have to do this curve, and then we have laid all of the tile. How good does this look? Here it is, the last stone going in. Whew.
Got any new backs on ya?
Who needs a back when you can have great stonework? We've finished the...
Ow! Just whacked me with your glass.
Oh, sorry. We've finished laying down the stone.
We have. That is back-breaking work.
Yeah.
But it looks amazing.
It does.
Completely transformed this space.
Oh.
And it makes it feel super beachy and really coastal. It's a nice coastal type rock. It almost like some of these, I don't know if you can really see much of the detail, but some of it looks like it's literally like coral. So it's actually a very interesting bit of natural stone that we've managed to get our hands on here, and it looks pretty impressive.
It looks pretty, and actually looks so much better than I thought. It's transformed our whole front yard. So tomorrow we're going to get some top rock delivered, and we'll be able to lock it in place, and we'll put in the edging to the garden bed and around to make sure it doesn't move. And then we'll put a sealer on it, and it'll be done.
And then that's it. It's us finished. Another good day's work, I think.
Time for us to get some dinner
Yeah, starting.
and rest our muscles.
Oof. Good morning, everyone. We are back for day 3 of 3, hopefully. Don't really want to put too much more valuable time into this, but we're so close.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. We're going to finish it. We've ordered our top rock this morning. It's a brown granite topping from DROMANA, specifically. We ordered it from Daisy's, so we got like a morning delivery this morning, so should be here within the hour. And at the moment now we're just setting up all of our edges. We're filling in all those tiny little pieces at the moment, so the last little percentage just to really get that nice finish. And yeah, once we get this edging in, we'll be able to fill in all the edges properly, back up against that edging nicely, and then we'll be able to, when we get our order of our topping, put it all through and lock it all in.
Yeah, the top rock matches the top rock that's already, because we have like a gravel garden, so that's already in the gravel garden. So we'll be able to also even out the front yard. It kind of dips and dives here and there, so it's actually a great opportunity to smooth out our full front yard and make it feel kind of top-notch again.
Yeah, we ordered a little bit extra just so we could sort of fluff up those edges and
Yeah.
fill in some holes that have been really getting on our nerves over these last few years. So while we've done the order, we'll get to all these little bits and pieces and niggling us today before it gets too hot.
Yes.
And hopefully smash it out this morning.
Smash it out this morning and then to the beach.
Straight to the beach. You got sunscreen on it?
Little bit.
You just need to like jab at this hard area.
Silly sausage.
Okay, so we have our delivery of top rock here, which looks very sandy, but when you start to move it, actually kick it out, and when it gets wet, it gets this beautiful dark brown color, which is really nice. And Sam, over here, you are creating a mixture of the poly sand, polymer sand, and this rock together to hopefully fill in these really big gaps and lock it all together.
So we have our poly sand and we have our top rock. And we're just going to give it a really good mix in this wheelbarrow so that we can then put it onto our pavers and really lock them in, which will sweep into the little gaps, and hopefully it will all look really beautiful. So this is our version of a grout that we're going to try and hopefully really blend in with the garden. It said not to make dust, so we're going to do this gently. We're going to do a gentle fold. And here we are, the endless sweeping. This part of it is a bit time consuming, but it's well worth putting some good energy into it. I introduced the sand and water mix in small buckets, gradually filling up those gaps between our pavers. When you have substantial gaps between your pavers, you're gonna have to fill them up substantially and compact that sand down, making sure we lock those pavers in place. Using a broom, just keep introducing more and more mix until you're satisfied that your pavers are pretty locked in. This does take a while, but I promise you, it's worth putting the time in. Okay, we are at the last part, which is to just push on some of the bigger areas to make sure it's compacted. And we'll do a final sweep and then we can spray it down with water. It's starting to get very hot now. Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, is 37 degrees Celsius. So we want to be done before tomorrow because we're not working on this tomorrow. It's too hot. We'll be at the beach. So yeah, it's looking really, really beautiful. My legs feel like they're going to die immediately.
My fingers feel like they're also going to die. My shoulders are just going to fall off.
Yeah, it's been a physical job, this one. We haven't done something like quite this physical in a while. Very just manual labor.
It is,
yeah. But it's very beautiful. It looks great and it's exciting. We've got so much fun to come up. We've got to get some chairs and table and decorate that corner area. We've got a garden bed to build over here, which is going to look beautiful. So it's very satisfying. Here we go. Brad's doing the final sweep before we spray it down. I have to spray each other down, Brad. Although we might set, since we're probably covered in the dust.
We might set.